Hello there, and welcome to this week's edition of Crazy Critique. Now, the newly released cinematic film I went to see this week was, of course, The Small Matter of the newest film from Mr. J.J. Abrams, and that film was, of course, Star Wars The Force Awakens. Lots of hype here. It's pretty much been a hype machine for the last 18 months or so, hasn't it? Um, I'm purely going in there as a film fan. Although I do enjoy the Star Wars films in different ways, in particular ones, I'm not the ultra fan. One of many ultra fans that are going in to see. I am just there purely as a show me cinema what you can give me at its best sort of attitude. And my initial reaction first of all is that I really did enjoy my time watching it. Given it's a phenomenally perfect teaser campaign they orchestrated, there always was going to be a kind of expectations were never always going to be quite up to that 5-star level. I think it's very fair to say. So, and there's a reason for my tempered response in that I have enjoyed myself more in the cinema this year. But that is not to say at all that I did not enjoy myself watching this film. I will just go into reasons why I feel it's not quite hit exactly the right mark, or it's hitting certain right marks as well. So I will go and say, first of all, in comparison to the other big hitters of the year. So, for example, its quality is immensely better than Terminator Genesis. Its nostalgic tones are better than Jurassic World. There's no sense of slight fatigue from your big epic franchises like Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2, or Avengers Age of Ultron. And it's more carefully plotted than Spectre. So when I'm comparing it, like I say, to the big films of the year, it probably is making a good old shout to be the best. But in terms of the other films I'm going to bring up are films like The Martian, and I'm going to bring up Ant-Man. And the reason why I bring up those two films is because when I was in the cinema, I felt like I was having one hell of a good time. One hell of a good time. And the characters made me enjoy that even more. And yeah, sorry, I'm just going off a tail, in a tailspin there. But so, like I say, in comparison to a lot of the other big films out there this year, I have certainly enjoyed it more in certain aspects, but I have also enjoyed others slightly more. And what's the first thing I'm going to go into now with in terms of critiquing the actual film? We've got to go straight into, you know what, Abrams has got the feel right. He's got the feel right of a Star Wars film, because all the criticisms of the prequels were that they just didn't seem quite, I'll say quite Star Warsy. Well, that's not a great description, but I'm sure anybody will know what I mean by the feel. So, for example, just everything from the cinematography, certainly the way things are shot, the way things are edited, the way things just generally look. So the costumes and how the characters look, and the special effects, the fact that there was a lot more practical effects, a lot more stuff like that. So it had a lot of stuff going through it there. And this is where I had to bring up BB-8, because BB-8 is wonderful. He's the little droid, the new droid in this film, and come on, I've lost my thread. And he's a beautifully realised piece of animatronics, and he's a character all in of his own, and many of the funniest moments I do feel come from him, and his interaction with other characters. And that's something, that just takes something, doesn't it, from something like that is a robot to actually ingrain itself upon a film and make you warm to it so well. And say now, speaking of funny moments, I did feel at times that it could have been done with slightly more humour. It may be a bit harsh, but it is my own personal opinion. I did sense a bit of nervousness from the audience. Now this is this is just my own personal feeling from the cinema screen that I was in with it was a full house audience. As like I say, I did sense a nervousness from the audience until that first big laugh arrived in the film, and that was from BB-8, from an interaction between BB-8 and Finn, played by John Boyega, and I know about their interaction of where they were supposed to go, and it's I don't know. There was something about I think there was a little bit of tension because everybody wanted it to sort of live up to the hype, and they were always waiting to it sort of go to grab you and go, yeah, thank God for that. Oh, thank God for that. And that was kind of a moment for me that I felt did work to their advantage. That very moment. It did take a little bit coming in the film because you just had to get used to because they did present things exactly how they've done in previous films with like obviously the opening screen with the dialogue rolling up the screen and giving a basic premise of the story. I'm not really going to go into it too much because I'm not going to be a spoiler. It's not really a spoiler even describing the plot, but I just want people to discover the film for themselves. It's one of those sort of films you do want people to discover for themselves. So, I will give a slight general plot element. Since the end of Jedi, the way basically the story opens is that Luke Skywalker has gone missing. Nobody quite knows where he is. Apparently he's going off to the end of the galaxy to find something to do with the Jedi and the origins of the Jedi and things like that. Something has gone quite badly wrong. And then there's a new order that has come to arise in his absence. So, because there's no Jedis anymore other than Luke, like I say, there's a rise of a new force led by a character called Kylo Ren, who's played by Adam Driver. Let's go into some of the casting of the young stars because I mentioned John Boyega, I think it's fabulous John Boyega in this film, and Daisy Ridley as Ray. They give something that probably not many of us can give to the film, which is because nobody really knows the actors themselves. You do go on that journey with them more possibly because they are more of an unknown quantity. So in terms of that sort of casting of, well, I'll say unknown actors, I do know John Boyega from Attack the Block, but generally he's not known to a large audience, and Daisy Ridley certainly is not at all to any audience, UK, American, or worldwide. This is pretty much her first significant role in something of this magnitude, certainly. So, fabulous work, I think, by Daisy Ridley and John Boyega in being able to portray certain aspects over to the audience. And Adam Driver, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. Won't see anymore. But it's interesting. And let's go into what I consider to be one of the best aspects of the film, which was the reintroduction of Han Solo and Chewbacca. And I honestly, their characters were brilliantly well handled. And excuse me. And I did feel like every time the characters were on screen, it was almost like a big hug from the cinema screen. Every time they interact with each other, because it just did feel like old times, and it was fabulous because they created those characters once again so perfectly. Peter Mayhew and Harrison Ford. It's like they had never left the screen. They were truly wonderful to observe. So those were concerns I had at the beginning, going into the film, is that whether these older characters would work well again. And we all know Harrison Ford is not the best recent record in turning up in films and putting in a bit of a shift. But here he's on game. My word, is he on game. And he's fabulous to watch and fabulous to observe. So, yeah, truly great, truly great. And, like I said, I mentioned BB-8. What else can I go into, really? I bet it's like does have to go into. Like I say, it's a ground laying film. I bet it's like does have to be given because it is a ground laying film and setting up a world again. So there's chinks in the way the story is told. Some of the characters, some of the characters need to be explained a bit more. But like I say, it's a world building film, so a little like has to be given. So I think it's a really really enjoyable film. Not quite the absolute A game we all wanted it to be, but my word is it. I enjoyed myself in the cinema. I did enjoy myself in the cinema, and particularly in those scenes with Han Solo and Chewbacca. And, well, what can be said? Hey, I did want to see more Oscar Isaac though, who plays a rather skilled pilot of the Rebels. So yeah, I want to be more Oscar Isaac, but there's plenty of okay, I won't say anymore. So yeah, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. You'll see it. No, I don't need to tell you to go see it because you already have seen it or on your way or booked or whatever. So there we go. terrible review there for you, but there we go. So there we go. That's my theatrical release film of the week was Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And so yes, my classic film of the week is probably it's a proper real classic in terms of family entertainment, and it's Christmas entertainment as well, given this time of year. And the film is Jason the Argonauts. What's to be said over that? And you know what? The best thing to go straight into is Ray Harryhausen, isn't it? Because the film focuses on a character called Jason, who has had his father and I think his mother and sisters killed by a Roman soldier who has took charge of a town that he is then sort of the rightful heir to, but he's only a baby. So he then effectively grows up and wants to seek revenge, but in order to do so, he wants to claim the legendary Golden Fleece from the edge of the earth to sort of add sort of triumph even more, or like it was a will of the gods that he's now going to be back in charge, that he has such a mythical item on his person. So he forms a crew, organises the games, gets all the best sort of sailors and fighters, and all from all around Greece, I believe it is, and therefore forming a formidable crew, which includes Hercules, and they set sail, and it's the voyage to find this Golden Fleece. So what it observes is that the gods are playing games, and Zeus is playing games, and Hera is his protector, Jason's protector. Says, I will help you a certain number of times in order to protect you. And they come across all sorts of creatures and sort of metallic structures, and yeah, it's very hard to describe. There's a scene where it's the ultimate fabulous Ray Harryhausen sort of example, isn't it? From the harpies that they come across to the metal statues on the island the first visit that Hercules excuse me, and the Talon, was it Talon? Or did it tell us? Oh, God damn it, I should have researched this a bit more. Sorry about that. But it's fabulous work. It's sort of iconic. It's a film you have to see as a child because it's a wealth of imagination that Harryhausen has brought to the screen. And in the 60s, this was massive. This is a massive film. And yes, there's certain aspects of it that are sort of a very TV drama-ish, but the fact that it is Ray Harryhausen's effects and wonderful special effects that make this film such a classic film. And we all know about the skeleton scene. I mean, we all know it took about 6 months for him to animate that. Effectively, it was like a 3-4 minute sequence or something like that, wasn't it? It was incredible. It's an incredible piece of animation and an incredible piece of cinema history. It's about 1 hour 45, isn't it? So it's not too long. It's exactly the sort of right thing. It has the right sort of things. It's an easy told story, and yeah, there we go. So I think it's just a truly wonderful piece of family and therefore this time of year film watching, and yeah, I'm really, really sorry. I'm not been in the best of shapes this week, and I know I'm just absolutely blathering rubbish right now. And I'm trying to scramble to save it, but I'm not being able to. So I do apologise about this. Um, but yeah, like I say, it's a piece of it's a piece of cinema history, and it's a time yes, okay. In some aspects, you look at some people sneer at it now, and I don't think that's the right way attitude to have about it, because you've got to appreciate a film for what the time it was made in, and I think it's a fabulous piece of filmmaking. And Harryhausen was a genius, was a filmmaking genius, and this is his best example of that on screen. So there we go. Jason the Argonauts is my classic film of the week. I do apologise, like I say, this week. It's not been my best week at all by any stretch of imagination. I've not been in the greatest of health, but I did want to get a Star Wars thing out there. Probably I should have waited, maybe. We'll see. Well, yeah, there we go. My classic film of the week, I say, was Jason the Argonauts. My theatrically released film of the week was Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I do hope you've enjoyed it. It would have been hard to, but I do hope to see and speak to you. I do hope you subscribe to me. I do better stuff normally, and I do hope to see and speak to you again soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.